Hello and welcome everyone to Game 3 of this best of 5 from EPS Winter, and it is between ATN's DarKFoRcE, the red Zerg player in the top position, who is up against XMG's Monchi, the green Protoss player in the south. And well guys, if you haven't watched Game 1 and 2, then you are missing out because they were ace. So seriously, go and check them out, they're absolutely fantastic, and I'll see you back here in a second. Now, assuming everyone still watching has either watched them or doesn't care, well, let me tell you, Monchi is 2-0 up. That means, ladies and gentlemen, drum roll please, that this is, well, it could be the deciding match of the series. If Monchi wins this, ATN DarKFoRcE loses the best of 5 and is 3-0'd, which is never ever fun. I feel like the only thing really worse is if it was a best of 7 and you get 4-0'd, but being 3-0'd is really quite a hard hit to the ego. It's just like, this wasn't even close. At 2-0 you could be like, oh, in Game 1 it was just like I wasn't prepared for a strategy, and Game 2 it was just a cheese or something like that. But in a best of 5 you're just like, well, 3 games in a row. And so far Monchi, he's played pretty straight up, he's not done anything too fancy. But anyway, so far Monchi, he's just come and scouting the wrong position first, which is fine. It's not forced cross spawn, so that means the Overlord also going to the wrong place. But of course now we do see Monchi coming up here. He's going to get the scout off. He knows that his opponent is here now, and he is really just keeping an eye out on what is the pull timing going to be. And yet again, DarKFoRcE does not have his pull down yet. He's just chucking it down now at 15, which means Monchi is pretty safe to go for a Nexus first should he want to. And judging by Game 1 and 2, I think that's exactly what he's going to do, because it worked out well. And if something works once, then you should probably try it again, and if it works twice, then you're pretty much onto a winner in my opinion. So DarKFoRcE is really under pressure to find a way to deal with Monchi's style, which effectively is this Immortal Sentry push, but backed up by a third base. He just delays it quite a bit in order to get his third base up, and he doesn't go super aggressive either. He just macros amazingly, and it works, so good on Monchi for that. Now, the third base on this map is of course blocked off by these rocks, which can be a bit of a pain, but for Monchi that's going to be really easy to take out. For DarKFoRcE, however, though, these rocks are a nightmare. Destructible rocks are the bane of Zerg players' existence, because Zerglings, the tier 1 unit, only do 2 damage per hit to them, and as you can see they have 2,000 health points. And that is pretty hardcore. So basically that means that you need a lot of Zerglings and quite a decent amount of time to take them out, or you've got to wait for Roaches, which also isn't the best times. Now, looking here, we do of course have a complete wall off, and you might be thinking, Madals, why is there a complete wall off here? It's because of these. There's destructible rocks at the natural. Once they're knocked out, well, guess what? You can get in and out of your base again. But before that point, you're like, Zerglings, yo, you want to come in here? No, you can't do that, because guess what? Those lovely destructible rocks you like, they're there as well. So that is bad times. The first 2 gas on the way out for Monchi. Meanwhile, DarKFoRcE, he's got his natural out at his third base. If he's gonna get it, which again he may not, he may just go for some kind of 2 base play, but that'd be pretty risky. I think a third base needs to be coming out like ages ago, to be honest. You need a 4 minutes 20. If you're delaying it up this far, I mean, if it gets past the 5 minutes mark, you're just really shooting yourself in the foot. You need that economy. You know your opponent's gone for a Nexus first from this Overlord here, so if you know that's gone down, then really you've got to do damage, or you've got to just pray for something to work well. And of course, DarKFoRcE getting that 1 gas up, which is saying to me is I'm not going to be taking my third anytime soon. That means he's really spearheaded into a 2 base play where he's got to do good damage. So I'm looking forward to see what DarKFoRcE does, because of course he's gone for the traditional take a quick third time and time again in this series, and so far it just hasn't worked for him in the slightest. It's not even been close. Now, Monchi looking down here, we do of course have no tech shown yet, but judging from his previous playing Game 1 and 2, we should see a Robo follow up to this, which is pretty normal to be honest. And the thing from DarKFoRcE here is he's getting up quite a lot of money, but it's a Stargate from Monchi. This is absolutely beautiful. If this Overlord sacrifices in at about the 7 minute 30 mark, it will spot it, but it could just be too late. It could already be dead from a Voidway, or even from Phoenix. The lair coming out now from DarKFoRcE. He's getting up his second gas. He's got the 2 queens, no third base, and of course Monchi is completely aware that this third base is not down. It's not even started, and well, as a result of that, he knows that something is up. He knows he needs to play safe. He knows he needs to play defensively. He's getting the second cannon. Ace play, just brilliant. If he knows that he's economically ahead, he's on equal basis with the Zerg player. If we look at the worker count, he's at 1 worker ahead, or he was for a second, and as a result of that, he is in absolutely golden positions. Now, the fact that Lair's coming down is the some of the options available, of course, is you could see a Overlord here rather, generate some creep builds and spine crawlers to take out the wall, that's a possibility. But we've got 2 more gateways on the way out. Obviously, we do see now that the Stargate has been spotted by that Overlord, and we should see DarKFoRcE really chuck down an Evolution Chamber, ready to get those Spore Crawlers to deal with it, seize the additional gateways, and well, to be honest, those Phoenix are going to be pretty potent because there's a lot of dead space back here, especially up to the gas. You can even sneak some Phoenix over to this area to poke in and out, so that will be tough. The Evo Chamber coming down now, as well as the Hydra Den. So, as you can see, DarKFoRcE, he is possibly overreacting because Hydras, while they're really, really strong, if there was a tech switch from Monchi anytime soon, which judging by this Robo facility, there could be, he could be in for some big problems because Hydras, they are insanely strong against gateway units and also air, but if there's a single Colossus on the field, well, then you get huge, huge problems because Hydras are glass cannons, if ever there were one, and that causes big problems. Now, DarKFoRcE looking to be taking his third base at the unconventional time of 8 minutes 20, and the problem is he just hasn't done damage. He's done literally nothing at all. He's still on equal workers with his opponent, and as a Zerg player against Protoss or Terran, you just cannot afford to be the same economically. Your army is not as efficient cost per cost, so you've got to be thinking, what am I going to do? The Hydras are going to be able to demolish these Phoenix, but obviously that's assuming they go the right way, and at the moment they're not. The Hydras are there, but obviously with the additional Hydras, well, Monchi doing a great job of pulling straight back out from there. The Nidus network coming down, and this is something going to be super excited, guys, because Nidus networks are awesome. You don't see them really anywhere near as enough, and, well, Monchi, just as I suspected, is going up for, if I can find it, that is, he has got a robotics bay on the way. That means Colossus will be coming out, and those Hydra Ling compositions will just get absolutely decimated, assuming, of course, that it goes down. But I'm not quite sure where a Nidus could be effective, because a Nidus is really a big commitment. You've got to do some damage. It is on its way down. It's going outside the Protoss base, but gets spotted by the Observer. Oh my god, DarKFoRcE, you are having such bad luck here. You are literally the bad luck Brian meme, and as a result, all of Monchi's units have come forward now, and it's going to be pretty tough. And, well, the Hydra's on their way out, but as you can see, quite a decent amount of force here. The Colossus on its way, and we should have Chrono Boost coming down on that Colossus, and if it gets out, well, then we're going to see some really major problems. Already, we see the Gateway get taken out exceptionally quickly, and the Hydra's moving forward now, but some force fields going down, and the trick is, Monchi, he has just got to delay this for as long as possible. The longer this push takes to get forward, the better it gets for him. He's getting some more Zealots out. He needs to think about where he's going to chuck down potential force fields. Really try and hold this off. Force fields could go down here. We do have the photon cannons actually getting depowered though by the pylon going down. That was a little oversight by Monchi, but the first Colossus is getting dangerously close to completion. It's only 10 seconds away. Some great force fields here have bought Monchi a tiny bit of time, but he's lost quite a lot of units. He's really on the ropes here. Could DarKFoRcE do it? It's going to be exceptionally close, but the Colossus has finally now completed. It doesn't have extended thermal lance though, so obviously it is possible to pick it off, but it's going to be very, very close indeed. But that Colossus racking up an awful lot of kills. Already 6, those Hydras are absolutely melting, and, well, DarKFoRcE's units seem to be going nowhere. He's got more units, but they're coming across the map the slow way, which begs the question, why the Nidus? Because this is just allowing Monchi time to get more units out. The second Colossus nearly done, and really, to be honest, once 2 Colossus are out, this composition is essentially useless. Now, while it might look a bit of a sorry sight here for Monchi in having lost 700 more resources, at 12 minutes in the game, 700 resources difference isn't huge, but importantly, the worker count is ahead by 3, and that is just absolutely monumental because, well, the Phoenix, they're still harassing like an absolute beast. DarKFoRcE, he only killed 2 workers, and basically this just means that, well, Monchi, he's going to be able to tech up all he wants. Spore Crawlers are on their way down at the moment. The Nidus has been cleaned down. Spire coming down as well for DarKFoRcE, so that's just getting ready to get Corruptors in order to deal with the Colossi. But as you can see, Monchi, he's stopped building. Well, he's got 1 more on the way, and he's probably going to stop at 3, I would imagine. He'll then start getting some more units out to round out his army, which is absolutely ideal. DarKFoRcE is ahead, though, by quite a bit, but his army composition is near pure Hydralisk at the moment, which, against 2 Colossus, let alone 3, is going to be huge problems, and I realise I said Colossus rather than Colossi. For some reason, I can't get the plural of this unit correct ever. It's the bane of my life, but still, looking around, we've got the third base coming up for Monchi. This is absolutely ideal play. Pushing forward, take map dominance, expand behind it. If you had to write a textbook on StarCraft 2, this would be in the 101, straight after the parts of probes and pylons. It'd be build probes, build pylons, and then push and expand. It's literally a staple of the game, so Monchi is just playing absolutely brilliantly, biding his time as well. DarKFoRcE, as you can see, is in panic mode completely. He's just massing up units. He's nowhere near the 70 drones he requires, and we saw this in Game 2 as well. And basically that just means Monchi, if he just waits, if he's just patient, he just macros up, gets a death ball, then DarKFoRcE is going to be sitting there scratching his head thinking, what happened, guys? How did it all go wrong? In terms of upgrades, well, all we've got is a +1 out for the Protoss. That's up against the +1 missile attack for the Zerg, +2 missile attack about to kick in. So slight upgrade advantage for the Zerg player at the moment, but of course, now we do have 4 Colossi out, then basically these melt everything. They do have extended thermal lance. Their AoE damage is great against roaches, and Hydralisk is even better against, so this is going to cause some problems. The only hope really going for DarKFoRcE right now is if those Corruptors get out in time. If they do amazing engagement, the Colossi fall in seconds, then perhaps there's a tiny chance this can work, but I'm really thinking Monchi's in such a strong position right now, but DarKFoRcE is going to go for a window of opportunity. He's got a big supply lead right now, and if he does significant damage, if he can pick off this third base, there could be hope because he's expanding behind it. He's doing the right thing. He's trying to stay a base up, and that could give him the chance he needs, but he needs to go sometime soon. He needs to go and hit this Protoss force before it gets too much for him, and of course every warp and every unit out of that robotic facility just makes it less and less likely that it will be successful. As you can see from the army supply, we're now down to, what, 12 army supply advantage to DarKFoRcE, which is tiny when you look at his composition. He's got no high-tech units, he's not got the tech advantage. Infestors aren't even on the field yet, and of course they're just such a staple. Infestors, as I mentioned in Game 1, are just the cornerstone of the balance wine at the moment in the game, and that basically just means that, well, this Protoss force is going to be absolutely devastating. It even looks like Monchi preparing to take a 4th base. He's going to clear out an Overseer there. It won't supply block DarKFoRcE because he does have enough Overlords around the map, so obviously that's fine. Hive on its way out, but of course this Hive isn't going to be done for another 30 seconds, 17.5 minutes on the Hive timing. The Spire is out, but of course Greater Spire takes even longer to produce. That's going to be a huge amount of time. The Corruptors getting picked off by a Graveling 4. You also have the Phoenix coming in there. Of course the Phoenix aren't going to be able to offer much of this fight, so they might as well just try and pick off the Corruptors, but this has given so much map dominance to Monchi, who is just spreading across the map with all of this force. He's got the Warp Prism there for the resupply, and he is near maxed out. DarKFoRcE is maxed out, but he only has 4 Corruptors. That's a Corruptor per Colossi, and obviously that just means those Stalkers are going to be able to absolutely go to town. We've got some engagement here. The Force Fields are really, really good. The Corruptors coming in, but they are getting sniped off so quickly already, and well, the Colossi are absolutely roasting this army. The Hydralisk melting without doing hardly any damage, and as you can see from the resources lost tab, this is so one-sided, it is crazy, and DarKFoRcE GG's out, and well guys, that of course means the Monchi, he beat DarKFoRcE 3-0, and he is an absolute baller. So guys, if you did enjoy the cast, please subscribe, like the video, leave a cool comment, follow me on Twitter, but most importantly, come back tomorrow because I get new games up every day of the week, every day of the year, unless I'm dying or something, which I won't. But anyway, I hope you did enjoy. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll catch you again tomorrow. Bye for now.